Hello everybody, welcome back to BareRose Garage here. Yeah, where we try to make something out of nothing. In the meantime, keep the metal hot, right? Tom Muse, if you haven't checked his channel out, go and check him out. He's got a very informative channel, and he teaches all kinds of neat stuff, especially when it comes to performance and all kinds of stuff. Go check his channel out. Anyway, his recent video here, he's having a little trouble with exhaust and welding up his exhaust. Well, it just so happens that I'm getting real close to that stage on the Fairlane too. And some of the questions he was asking, well, that's kind of the stuff I'm doing right now. So let's get right into the chase here. How to weld up rusty, nasty, crusty exhaust, right? I know everybody out there thinks, well, break out the TIG welder, right? TIG it in, yeah. Oh, I hate TIG. I'm going to tell you right now, TIG is the most overused form of welding out there. When you TIG is when you have to TIG. That is not a time for TIG. Why? Because this stuff is rusty, crusty, nasty. You can't TIG that. And not only that, TIG, you got both hands doing something, your foot on a pedal working something, and you're trying to hold things in place all at the same time. You got too much going on. TIG sucks. I'm kidding. It's got its place, and when you need to TIG is when you have to TIG. Not only that, it's expensive. 100% argon is expensive stuff, and that's the gas you got to use for TIG welding. And it's just, it takes a lot of time. It takes the expensive gas. It's an expensive process. So if you're budget minded, well, and not only that, TIG, you have to have brand new material, and you got to clean it, and you got to clean it again, and then you clean it some more, and then just before you weld it, you clean it again, then you weld it. Yes, TIG is very involved, and you can only do it in a closed environment, no wind. It's just, yeah, I TIG when I got a TIG. Other than that, screw that. Most of my stuff is rusty, crusty, old junk that I'm making work, which can be done with MIG. Not Flux. Don't confuse MIG with Flux. They're two different animals. What I'm running, you've seen it in the old on the other videos, on my review and all of that. The mighty little green machine, the little titanium. Oh, my plastic is finally starting to come off. Anyway, yeah, that's the cover plastic and keep it nice. Anyway, I'm running MIG on it with the bottle, the CO2 argon mix, red bottle if you're getting it from air gas. My pressure, well, it's down a little bit because I got to turn it back on, but my pressure right now is right in here. I got it turned up just a tad to get me a little more shielding gas as I'm doing it for this application. So that's about where I run my pressure. We'll fire it up. Now, you heard me talk about inductance. That's this knob right here. When I turn this down, it's going to get more of a lazy kind of weld. When it's hitting, it'll be about instead of a, you know, it's a more softer weld. What that's doing is it's giving me time to roll that puddle, to move that puddle. When I'm sheet metal welding or stuff like this, when I'm fill welding, not real structure welding, I'll turn this way down and get that lazy, I'm trying to explain it in layman terms, you know, it's kind of a lazy, easy-going filling weld is down here. It's thinner material, so I got my temperature turned way down, about 16. My wire speed turned down. I've already dialed it in. Now on this piece, you see it's got a crack, typical exhaust crack right here. from vibrating around because it wasn't welded on this side. So it stress cracked it right here. How do you fix that? We're going to go in and we're going to weld that. And then I took the cutoff wheel and I went ahead and cut a piece here. So we'll build a bridge here. Okay? So I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod and you can kind of listen, and I'll try to talk through it as I'm laying this in, so you can kind of get an idea of how and what is going on as I'm doing this. Okay? So come along with the ride with me, and let's get some metal hot. It's going to be fun. I won't put on the heavy glove for this because I'm not hitting real heavy with it. And I'm going to want a little extra feel with my fingers. So let's go at it. Let's get this done. Okay, let's start with the bridge here. Now this is real rusty right here, so it's going to kind of, I started up here on the cleaner side, and then I'll roll it in. I'll make sure I'm on camera here. All right, here we go. Now what I'm doing there is I'm pulling the bubble from this cleaner, heavier side where it's double thickness. I'm pulling the bubble down to this lighter side. And it's just a series of those light pops. Kind of think of each one of those as one dime, and you're just letting it come back in. Now when I hit, you see that little ball on the end there? I hope I get that in camera. That glowing ball, that's the melting metal that I'm stuffing back in that gap right there. So I'll pop it once and get that ball going, and I'll hit it and just roll it around just like that. Not once am I burning through the material because I'm not giving it the opportunity. Now this is 035 here, which is pretty heavy on the wire, but the advantage of that is you're not in it very long. So you're dealing with a lot of metal in the wire thickness. So you can see I'm holding it like this. I mean, I'm getting very little heat transfer because it's in there and it's out. Some people think you got to go real light on your wire. With the lighter the material is. So guys will jump down to like 025 and all of that. Well, the problem if you go too light on your wire is you'll have to be in there a long time, you know, because you gotta have more wire in there to feel it. Well, the heavier your wire, after you get a good feel for the torch and where it's laying, you're only in there for that long. Whereas 025, you're, you know what I mean? And the faster you can get in and out, the less heat you're going to be putting in as you go. Welding, again, is all about heat management. Now you notice I got a light glove on here. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm feeling for heat. When I start feeling the heat in my hand, I know it's time to slow down. Move to another spot, because if I get too hot in there, I'll start burning out. So let's see. So that's how you build a bridge. There we go. Let me get back on. There we go. That's how you build a bridge in there. And again, these are very quick and very simple examples. But now let's fill a crack, which is actually the easier of the two to do. Okay, now what we'll do here is we'll go right across here. Now when I'm doing this, you're going to hear it kind of as it goes. Again, it's not a structure weld, it's a fill weld. You know, it kind of is a structure weld. It's just not a, when you're welding heavy structure, you're wanting max penetration, you get the zzz, instead of this where you're going to hear the noise. And you'll see a difference in the welds. Like I said, these welds will just lay down. Okay? Kind of like gluing it together. Here we go. Shut up and get this metal hot, right? Now I'm going to do this on purpose here, of just laying it on. We're just going to hog it on here. See how long I can stay on that? And I'm not burning through. And in fact, I'm holding it with just these light gloves. Now you can't do this with flux. And there you go, a perfect fill. Now I can go back over it, I can grind it, I can do whatever I need to do. But come here. That's the reason I like MIG. I can turn that inductance way down. I can get hard welds like that, and there at the end, you just heard me just push it. I was doing that on purpose. Don't do it like that. I was doing it to show you that you can just lay on it. You can hog that wire into it and really get in there and fill a weld, and never once did I burn through it. This is just exhaust pipe, standard headered pipe. You know, it's pretty light material. Once you get that dialed in, like I said, you can just lay it in. You can do bridges. Like I did right here. And on the back side, you can see where it was coming through. I think, here, I'm going to try to get it in camera there. You can see how it's penetrated on the other side. You can see the metal bluing on the back side. That's showing you got good penetration, even on that bridge. And again, never once did I burn through that rusty, crusty old material. MIG is the way to go. TIG, I couldn't have done this. And again, these are just light leather gloves, and I can hold it. It concentrates the heat right where you want it. Now, I wouldn't grab it barehanded by no means, and you notice I'm not grabbing the actual weld site. But you can see it doesn't transfer, so it's not warping and moving your material around. Now, when I go into sheet metal welding, you're going to see a totally different style, but it has a lot to play in with that. But on rusty, crusty exhaust, there you go. That'll hold. If you want to check your welds, stick a light down in it, and then look for any pinholes. And again, with MIG, there's no slag. There's no slag at all. Every once in a while, when you heard that pop, 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 that's rust. When the electricity gets in there and it's penetrating and it's going across and it hits a rust spot, it'll pop that rust out, and you'll get them. See, there's a little bit of that rust right there. In the terms of slag, any kind of paint or any kind of contamination, that's what that is. You're going along and it goes pop. That's what that is. It's getting rid of that contamination. Unless you're going in too heavy and then it starts popping all over the place and then it's not really welding. But anyway, that's a little quickie on that. Hope it helps you out there, Tom. My biggest advice for you is don't try to flux it. You can fill, you can do everything with a good MIG welder. And that one over there, it's a Harbor Freight cheap one, and it's done everything that I've asked it to do and 10 times more. All right, so meantime, hope that helps you out there, and everybody else who wants to, I don't know, watch these fumble and rumble videos of mine. So I hope you got something out of that, and meantime, get out there and even if it's just some rusty old scrap, it's metal hot. It's a lot of fun.